needed him so badly. "I should be the one to fight this," he muttered. "'Tis my place, as the man in this family, as the head of this house." "Ah, Papa," she said as she sat down next to him and kissed him on the cheek. "You have been fighting, and doing a fine job of it, fighting since the moment Henry took his last breath. And as soon as I get Olwen back home with us, where he belongs, you will be fighting again. Now it is my turn to take up the fight. I will go after Morris and retrieve my child." "It will not be easy. Do not forget how they took him from us. This was an attack. He demanded, and when I said no, he attacked. He came prepared to fight us for the boy. I think Morris has lost his mind, most probably when he lost the last court battle to be named Olwen's guardian. I ne'er considered Morris a very clever fellow, but I did not think he could ever be as lack-witted as this." "Neither did I. I had no warning at all, no sense that this could happen. This tastes of pure desperation, Papa." "It does. I thought the same when he showed up with the obvious intent of taking the boy, no matter what or who stood in his way. I have heard that he is having some financial difficulties, but this was still a very drastic action to take." "That would depend on how deep his financial troubles run." She resisted the urge to tell him all she had discovered about the dire condition of Morris's finances, for the man needed no more weight added to his worry about Olwen. "All this trouble with the courts and lawyers cannot have been cheap for him. It certainly pinched our purse hard. The why does not matter," she said, as she stood up. "He had no right." "No, he did not. But now he does have the boy, and he may well think that is enough to help him win his case." "Then he will be wrong. All he will get from this is a prison cell," Lewis cursed when she hurried out of the room. He placed the damp handkerchief she had left behind over his throbbing eye. He should be at her side in this fight, but he knew he would be useless, his sight still affected by the blow to his eyes, and the blow to his head made it throb so hard and constantly that it scattered his thoughts. Good sense did not stop him from being infuriated that his barely 5 feet tall, not quite 8 stone daughter was about to confront a man who had just revealed how violent he could become when he did not get his way. Catrin was unfastening her gown even as she strode into her bedchamber. She hastily changed into something far more serviceable and then began to stuff 2 more sturdy gowns into her saddlebags. It took her only minutes to pack a few other things she considered necessities, and then she hurried down to the kitchen to gather some food. There was a good chance she could confront Morris right in his townhouse in the city, but she had been taught to always prepare for the worst. There was a chance she might have to chase him down. They had been prepared for Morris to try and take Olwen almost from the moment her husband died, for they had known he would heartily dislike the fact that her father had been named Olwen's guardian and, along with a few trustees, given control over Olwen's inheritance. Yet, as the months dragged on, and all Morris had done was drag them through probate and the courts time and time again, they had lost that cold fear. They had been foolish to drop their guard. Racing toward the front of the house, she paused when her father yelled out, "Take your pistol!" Peering into the library, she was relieved to see that his colour was better than it had been. "I have it with me, Papa. I will be very careful, do not worry. And have Eccles look at those wounds when he returns. I will return when I have Olwen and not before," she vowed as she hurried away, confident that their clever butler would care well for her father. Lewis wanted to argue that, but heard the front door slam. He made an attempt to stand up, but swayed with the dizziness that assaulted him and quickly sat down again. As he took several breaths to recover from nearly swooning and sprawling in an undignified heap.